Let's make something delicious. For these chocolate donuts with coffee glaze, we need to start with 3 tablespoons of very soft unsalted butter, 1/4 of a cup of granulated sugar, 1/3 of a cup of packed light brown sugar, and this is optional, but I would highly suggest it because it brings out the chocolate flavor. This is 1 teaspoon of instant espresso powder. If you don't have instant espresso powder but you have instant coffee powder, you can use that. But you may want to add just a tiny bit more than one teaspoon. Now you want to mash this all together. That's why you want your butter very soft. That way you can do this by hand. But you can use a stand mixer or a hand mixer if you want to. Now to this we are going to add 2 large egg yolks, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, roughly measured, which with me is more like 3, and 2/3 cup of sour cream. I do recommend full fat sour cream. Low fat or no fat sour cream is going to mess up your recipe. But come on people, we're making donuts here. If you're making donuts, you're not looking for a low fat something or other. Now you want to mix this all together. The reason you wanted to put your instant espresso powder in this step is so that it can dissolve in these wet ingredients. Now this is what it should look like when it's all mixed together. There will still be a few lumps. That's fine. Now moving on to our dry ingredients, you will need 1 2/3 cup of cake flour. I prefer cake flour. These are cake donuts. It makes for a very melt in your mouth crumb to them. If you can use all-purpose, but they're not going to be as tender or melt in your mouth. And you also have 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. You have 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and you have 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I have been asked on donut recipes before if you can use self-rising flour. Yes, you could use self-rising flour. You would leave out the baking powder and part of the salt. But it still would not be the same as using cake flour. You would still get a good donut, but the texture would not be the same. Now you want to mix all of this thoroughly together. Make sure that you get that cocoa powder thoroughly mixed into your flour. Now we are going to add our wet ingredients to our dry ingredients, and we're going to do that in about 3 parts. And you want to mix thoroughly between each part, but do not overmix, because now you are adding flour, so every time you overmix, you develop that gluten more and more, and you will end up with tough donuts. Now you want to add your second part, now that your first part is thoroughly mixed in. Now we are going to add the last part of the dry ingredients, and your dough should be getting really stiff by now. If you have to use the tools that God gave you at the end of your wrist, go ahead and do it, because sometimes that's the best way to mix things together when it comes to a dough. Now your dough is thoroughly mixed, but not over mixed. And it's a nice stiff dough. See, it's very stiff, but it's still a little sticky at this point. So this is the tough part. You have to chill it. So you want to cover it with plastic wrap to keep any refrigerator funk out of it. And you want to chill it for 1 hour. Now our dough is out of the refrigerator. It's chilled for 1 hour. And we also have our oil starting to heat. If you've watched my donut videos before, then you know you need to have your about 2 to 3 inches of oil in a large pot with a candy thermometer or a frying thermometer. And you need to bring the oil up to 350 degrees. So now we're going to start rolling out our dough. This dough is a little stiff, so you will want to roll it out instead of patting it out. And you will want to roll it out to about a 1/2 inch thickness. You can do a 1/4, but the donuts will be a lot smaller. Now we're at about a 1/2 inch, and this is my nice trusty donut cutter. So now we are going to cut out our donuts. You want to put them as close together as you possibly can, because you don't want to do so many rollouts. Because if you do so many re-rolls, they're going to get tougher and tougher the more you work the dough. Now with the donut holes, you can fry these up, which is what I'm going to do, or you can use them for re-roll. But who doesn't love a good donut hole? So you want to place your donuts, once you've cut them out, you want to place them on a lined baking sheet so that you can place them in the refrigerator while your oil is coming up to temp. That way you keep them nice and chilled. Now we have all these scraps, and now you're going to bring them together for your first re-roll. I have to slow down when I'm saying that, or it doesn't come out right. Comes out re-roll. Now normally I will only do one re-roll, because anything past that, they start to get a little tough. So I will only do one re-roll, and the rest I will use just for little donut balls. Now I can probably get 2 out of this, and then there will be very little scraps to do donut balls with, but that will work a lot better than trying to squeeze another donut out of it and doing another re-roll, which is just going to be tougher. And this is probably not even enough for another donut, so I'm just going to bring it all up into a nice little log. Roll it up into a nice little log. That way I can just pinch off little donut balls. And you could use a little small circle cutter if you want to, but I rather just roll them in my hands and roll them up into little balls. Now you want to refrigerate your donuts. You want to refrigerate them so that they stay nice and cold while you're waiting for your oil to come up to 350 degrees. Now while our oil is finishing up the heating process, we are going to make our glaze and set up everything. That way everything is ready to dunk the donuts when they come out of the oil. So we have 2.5 cups of powdered sugar, and to this we are adding 5 tablespoons of butter that we have melted. This is unsalted butter. And we have 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, roughly measured of course. And now we are going to start mixing this together just to get the butter initially mixed in. Now this may take anywhere from 2 to 4 tablespoons of hot water, very hot water, that I have dissolved instant espresso powder in. Now this is up to you how much coffee flavor you want in your glaze. You can do anywhere from 1/2 tablespoon to 1 full tablespoon, or anything in between the two. Now you want to start out slow with just like 1 tablespoon. And just see how much you need, because as I've told you before, when you're making a glaze, you never know. It depends on the atmosphere in your house. If the atmosphere is rather dry in your house, or the atmosphere is rather dry outside, you'll need more liquid. But you want to always err on the side of being too dry and adding more liquid, because if you add too much liquid at one time, then the only way you can bring it back is to add more powdered sugar, which will make it sweeter and sweeter. So now I'm going to add a little bit more, and that takes it to about 2 tablespoons. I'm going to keep mixing it until it's smooth, but I can already tell that it's a little too thick, because while I want this glaze to be a little thicker than an average glaze on a glazed donut, I don't want it to be a frosting either. So I'm going to add just a little splash more, probably not even a full tablespoon, and see where we're at. And this is smelling so insanely good. That coffee smell is amazing. And while this is good, it's still a little more like a frosting than a glaze. So we're going to add a little splash more. You want it to fall in a thicker ribbon that holds longer than you would for a regular glazed donut. Like if you make a figure 8, you want it to hold that entire 8, because you want more of a body to this. Now I'm going to stop there, but by the time your donuts are done, it will probably have thickened up a little. So be sure and keep the rest of that little bit of coffee left there, because you may need it. Now our oil is up to 350, and we are going to start putting our donuts in. I am putting them on a slotted spoon and lowering them in slowly. And I'm not going to do more than 3 at a time. Now at first they're going to sink, and then they will start to float. As they start to cook and rise, they will start to float. And when they start to float, that's when you know they're working on getting done. You only want to fry them for 1 to 1.5 minutes on each side. That's all it takes, because the oil is so hot. That's all it takes. And as you can see, they've all come up to the top now. You will want to take an occasional peek. Remember which one you put in first and which one you put in last, because the one you put in first, you want to flip first. Now it's been a minute, so I'm going to raise it up and look. It's getting nice and brown, but I'm still going to give it the half minute. Now it's been about 1.5 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and flip and see if it flips good, and don't try to roll back over on you. Then you know you've done it right. And see, these two were re-rolls, so they're very craggy, but it's okay, because craggy donuts just hold on to more glaze. And you can see the difference. This one was not a re-roll, so it's not as craggy. So now we'll go for 1 minute to 1.5 minutes on this side as well. Now it's been about 1 minute, so you want to raise it up and look underneath and see they're looking really good, but I am going to give them the extra half minute. So now it's been that extra half minute, so I'm going to flip them all over and see how they're doing. And see, they look amazing. So now they're ready to pull out. And you want to put them on a paper towel lined plate. That way they can drain the excess grease off. And now you want to make sure that you bring your oil temperature back up to 350 before you add the next batch. So it will be just a few minutes to bring it back up. Now these chocolate beauties are all done frying. I couldn't resist. I had to show you what they look like. Look how gorgeous that is. Nice and puffy. They're almost going to be like a chocolate old-fashioned donut, but this glaze is going to take them over the top. So now I did have to add just a tiny bit more of my coffee mixture to make my glaze a little bit thinner. Now if the atmosphere in your house is very dry and you need more than the 4 tablespoons, don't add more coffee. Just add some hot water, because more coffee is going to make it stronger and stronger, and you really don't want that. So now you have the option of dunking both sides or just one side. I personally prefer just one side. So now I'm going to start dunking my donuts just on one side. And then I have a nice cooling rack set up over here with some parchment paper under it so that it will catch the drips. And that's actually the perfect consistency that I wanted on the glaze. I want it to be drippy, but not over drippy, because I want it to be able to taste that coffee flavor really well. Now these beauties are all dunked, and they're sitting here. The glaze will start to set up. You want to let it set up a little before you eat it, because they'll be a lot more messy. But if you like them warm and don't mind the messiness of the glaze, then go ahead and eat them warm. But I will tell you, that glaze is insanely good. I mean, such an amazing pure coffee flavor. It is amazing. And come back next time to Angela K's Kitchen, where I take you from gourmet to everyday and everything in between. God bless.
Look at that beautiful donut. I am overwhelmingly excited to try this. So, let's see. Holy shnikes. Oh my God. Wow. That's quite possibly the best thing I've ever eaten in my life. Just to be honest with you. I mean, Angela K does a lot of amazing things. This is at least one of the top 2 or 3. Without a doubt. That's so good. It's amazing. So like, you need to get yourself a cup of coffee, some of these donuts, and just sit down and chill. I mean, just enjoy it. Y'all, Angela Kay is an amazing cook.